Hello.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to
Starting.
today's edition. We actually started, Mr. Izia. Good
Okay.
afternoon and welcome to the social media program on television, The Buzz on Galaxy TV. It's a pleasure to be here as always, and today we are set to get the ball rolling. And it's just myself and Mr. Samson Asia, who is the political correspondent for the Guardian newspapers. Good afternoon, Mr. Asia.
Good afternoon.
How is it out there? You just came in from that traffic.
The traffic can be terrible. You know, people are not asking for much. But our government and even our people, they are part of our problems. Because they always want to justify every action, depending on where their interest lies. I don't know what it will take somebody, like a general how many minutes to get here. You have to, the way through Oshodi is not going. The road construction is lasting more than expected. In the other climes where things are done the right way, these people need to work late in the night so that people can be able to move around in the daytime.
During the day.
So, but this is Nigeria for you. You get the kind of leadership we want.
Wow.
So, yeah, today.
All right. Let me just put it out there that two of our panelists are out there in the traffic. Just like yesterday, we experienced the same problem. It's becoming very inconveniencing, really, for everybody to move around in Lagos. And when the rain comes down,
It becomes more difficult then.
It becomes worse.
Yeah,
that's
right.
right. All right. Remember, you can be a part of the show if you're watching from home or from your office, wherever you're watching from, by using the number 0802-836-8971 to text in your opinions. Please don't call the number, just use it for your SMS only. Welcome to the show. Once again, I would like to begin the program today by remembering a dear brother, a colleague, and he was one of us on this program before he passed on Saturday morning, Mr. Dixon Akinwumi. It's really, really a huge loss for the broadcast industry. A lot of us know him and we've associated with him. He was a very calm, very humble, very soft-spoken man. Very unfortunate that he had to die with his son, his 12-year-old son, the way he passed on. A very sad occurrence. Once again, I would like to use this medium to say my heart goes out to the family he left behind. May God grant them the fortitude to bear the loss. Amen.
I mean, his gentle soul rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
You know, the circumstances surrounding his death is very appalling. In the sense that if it is in the developed countries of the world where government is very responsible and responsive, I think they will have salvage the situation. But we are living in a country where we do not walk the talk. We say much and do little.
And do nothing.
Especially when campaign is around the corner.
Exactly.
You hear all sort of promises here and there. I can imagine how this young man lost his life alongside with his son. That's very tragic. But what can we do? This is a situation we find ourselves. And we'll continue with it until we stand up to ask questions and do what is right.
That's right.
So that's the issue.
May his soul rest in peace. All right, remember the number to use once again is 0802-836-8971 for SMS only. And our first topic today is finding solutions to the flooding menace. Back in July this year, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, warned that the shift in the rainfall pattern might cause unusual flooding in many parts of the country. The floods have really come down heavily this year, often with high casualty aftermath. Now, severe flooding we hear in some parts of the country has claimed no fewer than 49 lives, with 20 people declared missing. And in Jibia, Katsina State, in July, about 2,000 people were declared missing. Only last week, the Minister of State for the Environment, Alhaji Ibrahim Jibril, informed the National Economic Council, presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, that before the end of this year's rainy season, 20% of Nigerians still stand the risk of one form of flooding or the other. All right, this is something we're currently experiencing in the country, particularly if you reside here in Lagos. This is where I stay, so I can relate with the situation here in Lagos. So before Mr. Sampson and I talk about this issue, let's take this quick clip to show us, the exact situation of floods out there in Lagos.
It's the time of the year when the rainy season begins to gather momentum. For the residents of Lagos and its environs, it's a season of mixed blessings. As early as at about 6 a.m. today, when the city was just about stirring up for the day's business, the rain began, first as light showers. As it gathered intensity, few would have imagined that the downpour would have far-reaching consequences. When the heavy showers subsided after about 3 hours, they left in their wake heavily flooded streets and major roads. The flooding particularly affected the Ketu, Bariga and Ojota axes. Another consequence was the resultant gridlock, as vehicles were forced to move at snail's speed. Some either came to a complete halt, unable to move further, or simply got flooded and broke down. Commuters heading to work were trapped in the floods. Some braved it and waded their way to work. One of the factors said to be responsible for the flood was overflowing drains blocked by plastic waste products. It's still early days for the rains, but is the flooding a sign of things to come?
The atmosphere is still very rich in moisture. Presently, there is a system over Bauchi, eastern axis of Kaduna into Nasarawa axis of the country that will expect to affect some other parts of the central region. And even if that comes, we'll expect, of course, if we have that activity, the rains that we'll have tomorrow is not expected to be as pronounced as what we had this morning and what we're still expecting. But it's unlikely that some scattered activities are most probable over some parts of the country, including the southeastern axis into Sunday, Monday morning.
Perhaps this may just be a warning signal to galvanize the relevant authorities, both in Lagos and nationwide, to begin taking proactive measures to forestall any natural disaster that may result from the anticipated deluge.
Welcome back from that. 0802-836-8971 is the number to use, Mr. Samson. Now, my question is, despite the repeated warnings, by NIMET, telling us well ahead of time that there will be flooding definitely and all that, why does this particular issue always still catch us unawares?
Well, Patience, thank you. Just like I've always believed in Nigeria, what we do right is more important than what we say right. But in Nigeria, we have people who always want to say many things right, but they will not do those things right. So what is important is, what do we do right as a people and as a government? Because government is made up of people. You see, this is not the first time. This thing has become like a vicious circle. Year in, year out. Remember in 2012, when Jonathan was in power, there was such a problem. The schools of opening dam here and there, and so much money. The federal government released billions of naira to state government to cushion the effect of the flooding and to take care of the victims of the flood and prepare a makeshift for some of them. 2012. Some of this money was diverted by the governors. The victims of this flooding didn't get one naira out of it. And we know that flooding is natural. It's a natural disaster. A government that is proactive, a government that is reasonable, a government that has feelings for its people. There are people that are living in flood-prone areas. What do you do? What is Ministry of Environment doing, both in the state and the federal level? What is their work? You ask questions about what do they do with ecological fund. It has been there. The money has been coming out over the years, coming down to state. Our leaders see it as a pocket money that they can spend anyhow. And they would, when even they want to intervene, they wouldn't even include the community that's been affected to contribute their own idea of how are we going to do this thing. Mark it, by next year you will still hear the same story. And very soon now, the federal government will start releasing money to states for the flood victims, and it becomes money they will use for 2019 elections. And even the worst part of it, the irony of it is that the affected, you see them justifying the action of the government. You begin to imagine, what kind of country are we? The question they will ask you, is he the first person that did it? Is he the first government that did it? What did Mr. A did when he was in power? Did anybody collect money from him? So you can see the thinking of our people. Now, you come to area of building. Government has more than 20 or 5 agencies that we take care of. Before you start building, you have to go for approval. And people are building on waterways. The same government will issue such a people CFO. Only to turn around, if another government goes away and another one comes, they will start bribing them, bribing the officials, and because every Nigerian, average Nigerian that want to go out, want what he want to go home with that day, knowing actually that what is important is what is in my pocket, not what is good for the people outside there. That was also the thinking of our leaders, because they need to have money around. Immediately they starve the people, and at the time, when the time comes, they will give them money. This is not the new road. You have been passing this road. Normally, this is a natural, because rainy season must surely come. It must come. It must not be our mind. The question is, go to the states and see what whether the state government are proactive. The Ministry of Environment, the Ecological Fund Office that is there, that billions of naira has been given over the years. There was a time there was investigation by the National Assembly on the Ecological Fund. Billions of naira was diverted. But those who diverted the money, they are working free on the road. So they are occupying some position in government today. Immediately they give us the figure and we shout, hey, the youth will take to social media and be ranting like ants. They have diverted our attention and focus on what they are doing. Immediately the rainy season ends, nobody will hear anything about flooding until when the next rainy season comes. The rain is just coming to Lagos now. We are talking about Ketu, Bagada, and all these places. What about Lekki? The last 2 years,
yes,
even the home of big men,
yes,
they couldn't enter their houses. But some of them in that Lekki are part of the government.
Using canoes on streets.
On streets. Some of them in that Lekki, after that, what do? They are serving in this government, both at the federal and the state level. What effort did they make? The regulatory agencies that are supposed to have taken care of, look, if you want to build it this way, build it this way, they will just go and collect money. People build without approval. Only for government to come back and say, we have to pay for approval, we have to do that. Where are you when they are building? The officials will come to the site and collect money from those who are building.
All right, I hear you, Mr. Ezia, on the failures of the government regarding this issue of flooding. But then let's come to us, the people. How irresponsible have we, actually been in terms of protecting our environment? Because if I take Ikeja as a case study, every single time it rains and rains hard, you see the flood, and what you see flying about plastic bottles, styrofoam plates, and all of that. So how responsible or irresponsible are we as a people?
Okay, I want to tell you something. When the standard of justice is corrupted, what do you think will happen to the body of politics? When the leaders, who are supposed to lead by example, have failed to do what they're supposed to do, or what is expected from them. The lead, we the followers, we follow suit now because nobody is going to hold you. People dumped their refuse inside waterways. People refuse to pay for their dustbin to be taken. Rather, they wait in the night when it's raining, they will go and drop it. And somebody will see them. And tomorrow, other people will continue from where it stopped. And the government will come. There is no sanction for that. Even the body responsible to pick those dustbin and dirty from the people, there's the issue of changing the people that last one and the rest of them recently. Every part of Lagos, they have been dumped, refuse dumped everywhere.
Yeah.
The new people they brought have not been able to live up to expectations.
Exactly.
I don't know how government come about it. Instead of keeping those people with those people, why you are bringing in other people. So when the people don't come to take it, Do you expect an average Nigerian to live with his dirty inside his house, where he has to throw it away?
You have to look for a way to dispose.
You have to throw it away. So it boils down to the kind of government we have. That will determine the kind of attitude the people that is being governed will display. That is what we are seeing in action. Exactly what is happening. When the head is corrupt, you don't expect the body, or when the head is rotting already, you don't expect the body to do anything different. That is what is happening. Our leaders are failed, our followers, we are equally failed as a people. Because what matters to us, even if you want to lead the agitation for that, there are peoples and moles among the people who will say, it's patient that is leading this protest against you. And they can do anything. We don't have security in this country. We don't have protection. They can't after patients. If you take patients away, this protest will end. Are you understand what I'm saying?
Of course I do.
So this is where we find ourselves. So this is the problem. It will come and continue to come and continue to come until we have a responsive and responsible government who will wake up to regulatory agency must be up and doing. The leaders must do their ask questions. Even if you allocate somebody to go and do something, what is the person doing with it? It's not enough to send somebody on an errand to go and do something. What is important to make sure that the person does what he's supposed to do. So that is what I mean.
I mean, flooding is a big issue. I know of Lagos. It's even part of why the program is dry today, you know, because bad roads everywhere. And then when it rains, everywhere is covered with water. Exactly. And then the roads become unmotorable.
The drainage is blocked.
Everywhere is upside down.
So the water will always find its way. Water is natural disaster. They cannot hold
it has
anywhere.
To move.
Even if, for example, just what you are building. When you have a house and there's a leakage somewhere, maybe from the pipe, water is something you cannot stop. Rather, you must have to give it its way so that it can flow naturally to the right place. So there must be a plan. Even when you are building, even when government is building road, they have to plan on how they will channel the water to ensure that the residents of that area are free from flooding. I give kudos to them when they are constructing Agor Palace Way. They have to do a proper drainage channel that link the water from the Agor Palace Way to the canal. And that's what saved the road today. When it rains, it will be difficult for you to see that road being flooded. But if you move from Agor Palace Way to Amuodofi area, you discover that such plan was not made. There are gutter there, but it was not open.
Enough.
You know, it is not open enough to and whenever it rains, those areas, especially at Apple Junction, will be flooded. So it depends on the contractor giving job and the discussion, because you know government always have interest whenever they are awarding contract. The thickness of the road or how good a road is dependent on the contract you are awarded and the ability to be able to supervise those contracts strictly to make sure that the person did what he's supposed to do.
Interesting. All right, we hope that the government will be able to find a lasting solution to this issue. It's fast becoming a menace year after year. We talk about flooding on different platforms on this station, and we are still where we were before.
And we will continue to be there
until
we find
something is done.
The government has to do the needful. The people must equally do the needful. Even if it means stepping on toes, we have to do it. We don't have to continue to postpone the evil days. That is the problem I have. We become too emotional about the whole thing, and they become so tribalistic in all these things. We must, irrespective of who is in charge, the government is supposed to be a responsible agency that should direct the people. There should be regulation on what you should do, and there must be punishment when you go against the law. But this is a country where you go against the law. Instead of punishment, emotion takes the center stage.
True.
And you have followers here and there. Hypocrisy, left, right, and center. So this is where we find ourselves.
All right, it's a sad one, but we hope the government will do the needful. Let's move it along quickly because of time. Our next topic, Osinbajo launches trader money. The federal government has launched a new initiative to empower 2 million petty traders between now and the end of 2018. The new initiative called Trader Money. Is it Trader Money or Trader Money?
Trade money.
Trader Money.
Trade money. You can use the semantic name.
All right. It was launched under the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP. Now, this scheme is part of the National Social Investment Program under the GEEP. And according to the Vice President, it reinforces the federal government's commitment to bridging the credit gap and empowering Nigerians at the grassroots. According to the statements available, beneficiaries can get access to a higher loan facility ranging from 15,000 naira to 50,000 if they repay within the 6-month loan term. Beneficiaries of Trader Money have 6 months to repay the loan with flexible options of 85 naira daily or 430 naira weekly. All right, now this has already been launched. We hear it kicked off in 5 markets in Lagos, Mushin, Ikotun, Agege, Ketu, Abule Egba, and I think currently they're going to Osun State, you know, with this yes, this initiative. But let me ask, do you think this is a laudable move by the federal government? And if it is, how is this supposed to alleviate poverty?
Well, Patience, I don't know what you want me to say. You know, sometimes when I start discussing about Nigeria problem, it disturbs me a lot. So now I'm telling for it not to be disturbing me anymore. Just like I've always said, why now? The question is, Oshibanjo, can you tell Nigeria why now? This government is at the twilight of this administration. They have less than how many months to go? Okay. What are they doing since they came into? They have some social scheme here and there. So what are they doing since? As laudable as this scheme may be, the timing is very suspicious.
You have a problem with the timing. Okay.
And the motive is questionable.
Okay.
The timing is suspicious and the motive is very, very questionable. And I will tell you why.
Okay.
You came towards the election period and said, just like when they say they will give you Nigeria money, sharing money. Who collected the money? Who compiled the list of those who collected the poor Nigeria? How do you measure those who are poor?
Who is poor?
And who is not poor? This is another conduit pipe to waste public fund, as far as I'm concerned. Because an average Nigeria trader, how do you come about this figure? Who handled the findings? This is the market woman. Where is his shop? For you to be sure that this person is a market woman. Or even those of them in government will share the money among themselves and their relatives. We have, you remember we have a school feeding program.
Yeah.
Who has been following it to know how much has been spent on this thing and the quality of food they are giving to the school children? Who are the contractors? I know it must be Nigerians, but was he bidded for? Would that person have the experience of cooking food before?
With nutrition in mind.
With nutrition in mind? What is the quality?
Last week it was in the news, the food vendors were
complaining
35 naira
to be able to feed a child.
Definitely.
So if you have a child, you want to give him a delicious meal, you know how much it will cost.
Of course.
But even at that 35 naira, they will not spend it. They will not spend up to that money. Because the person is looking how to maximize profit and to get money back, to launch himself back into the system and remain relevant. Election is coming closer. You see them taking money, contractor from there, putting billboards for the government, organizing groups for the government. And where is the money coming from? Is it not from the contract he was awarded to? And it was not monitored. He will share the money into 2 or into 3 and take 2 parts and use one to execute the project. And we tell you it has ended well. Who is going to question the person as far as the government has supported the person? I thought there will be a change. Because Oshibanjo himself is a man I respect so much. But even the Buhari as an individual, but some individuals around these corridors of power, I don't know what they are doing with this government. Because if you have a good intention, the timing of the launching is very, very suspicious. It is all about election. I stand to be corrected. If they should tell us they are giving Nigerian women money to vote for the government, there's no problem. You must not attach it to a scheme. A scheme that you cannot explain. A scheme is that you cannot tell us where you just develop the scheme and the criteria you are using to give this. Because they don't tell us the criteria. Who are the market women, if I may ask? I know that the market women
petty
are very
traders.
Petty traders. Who are they? They are very far from government. They are very far from government. We don't need all these things. What we need is to provide the basic amenity and level environment.
So you don't think that this move will actually close that gap? I know the grassroots is really far from the government.
Yeah.
Maybe this move, them reaching out to the grassroots, Isn't it an attempt to close up the gap a little
Which
bit?
gap are we closing? How can the federal government be in Abuja and be telling me who are the petty traders in my village? How do they know? There's a government at the grassroots. What the government should do is to liaise with the state government and local government and be able to monitor who are the petty traders. It is something that they have to take time to do. You visit the petty traders one hour and saw that this woman is a petty trader. They are selling something. You can pick it, but they will not do that. They will write names of their relatives and their friends and their cronies. They are the petty traders. Unless you are lucky to know any of them, that is the only way your name can enter there. So, are you getting what I'm saying? There are certain things that government, what I'm talking about, how do we reduce power at the center? It's quite unfortunate that this present National Assembly, despite all their grandstanding and everything, rejected the devolution of power at the time they amended the Constitution. I expect that they will be bold enough to say, let's devolve this power from the center to the state, then down to the local government. The government can be closer to the people. They are only closer to the people when election comes closer. They went for campaign, they will make all sorts of promises, which they will not keep at the end of the day. And the people, because of hunger, Nigerians can take anything immediately. What can I get today? No. If I can wear shirt and go and sing for them, they will give me 5,000. At least I hope I can cook a better soup today. After, if they win, they will not come back to me. If they win, they will not come back to me again. So that is the problem we have. So as far as no matter how good this scheme is, the timing is very suspicious and the motive is very, very questionable. What did government want to achieve with this? They are launching it in how many states? In Agege, Mushi. We know that Southwest has been a stronghold of APC. After Oshu State election, we know that if APC wins in Oshu, if APC eventually wins in Oshu, then it means that the Southwest has become APC state. So they started launching it from Lagos. They know the population is here in Lagos, where they will get more votes. So that is the issue.
All right, let's read some messages coming in. This one says about the first topic, this country is nonsense. Oh, wow, that's a bit harsh. Let's recall how many billions of naira was put down for 2019 elections before the adjustment. How many millions of naira is needed to improve Nigeria's infrastructural system? At least we're getting popular now because of our poor state. Donald Trump and Bill Gates are making sure of that. Second topic, trade money or trader money, whatever it's called, is not happening. Election is around the corner. Simple. All right, this one says, Osinbajo went there to share money for election, not for traders. Giving out the loan is laudable, but paying back may be difficult. Chief Osho from Ikpesi Akoko. All right, this one says, please forget about timing. The money is from Abacha. There are people, there are people on the streets who have gone to Access Bank to collect this money. Your quest is reach the poor ones. Wow. I don't know. This message is not very clear, so I don't really know what you're talking about. All right. You know, like we all agree that the whole initiative is quite laudable if it works the way
if it works. And if they have started it
earlier than now,
then people can now make testimony and there will be means of paying back. Just like somebody raised in the
yes, you pay back. I mean, you have flexible options of paying back 85 naira daily or 430 naira weekly.
Contractors that collected money to do government projects and return the money back. Rather, they will use the money to buy lawyers and face them in court, and it will last for more than 12 years for judiciary to deliver judgment. The governors their trial started by the time they left office in 2000, the likes of Joshua Dari and John Inyame, who was recently, and I'm telling you, it is not yet to Uhuru, because they may have freedom. You remember, just yesterday, Darie was in prison and he has purchased the trial form. Are you not telling me that something is telling him, or he's doing the homework that Appeal Court might let him off the hook to contest the election? After all, the party is the party that contests the election. It's the party that contests the election, not individual. So there's every tendency that the party will campaign along his side, because we have the case of Yedo Bisere, who was in prison and became a senator. So nothing is impossible. This is the kind of thing you can only get in Nigeria. This is the kind of thing you can only get in Nigeria. People knew that they will even help you. The lawyers will help you. They know that the judiciary has not done what they needed to do. They are not standing up, but they are human beings living in the same society. going to the same market, you want to ride the best car that a political leader is riding. So you can see where the whole thing is having problem. So that is the issue. How do we pay back? We have seen people taking loan from Bank of Agriculture, from this place. Have they paid it back? It's for the Christmas money. The only thing is for you to ally yourself with the power that be, the powers that be. If you ally yourself with the power that be, and you have your own share of the cake, every other person can go and die.
You know, for a minute there, I was quite excited, you know, that there's something for people at the grassroots level.
Leave this thing
and all of that.
What is making you excited?
But then listening to you talk this
What
way,
makes you excited?
it's just bust my bubble.
Can
but
they
then,
mention names of the beneficiaries? Let us investigate them. Let even the journalists
like
go
make
and
it
find them.
transparent.
Let them publish the list of the beneficiaries. Let us trace their home and they tell us their shop and what are they selling and make them petty traders. We know this, me and you know these petty traders. The petty traders in my village, I know them. I know how they are struggling to survive. So these are the people that the money should go to, and not those who has billions of naira.
So let me ask you, Mr. Ezia, what does the government have to do, you know, to make this thing transparent enough for everyone and to actually buy people's trust on this project?
You see, when this government came in, they came with a change mantra. The expectation was that this would be done in a different way. But if you ask me, even when the president might have good intention or the vice president, what about other people that are around them? The president won't be everywhere. There should be a paradigm shift in leadership recruitment in Nigeria. There should be a paradigm shift. Let's look at people who have credibility, who have integrity. Some of these people, we know them, they have questionable character. And they're still in the corridors of power because they have so much resources to corrupt the system and sway things in favor of the government. See, no, this is why we are where we are. Government, the expectation, the feelings when this government was coming in is that, look, these people have to take back seat. We need to look at people with a different background, without credibility, that can take the front seat and drive the things of the economy. And what will it take? It doesn't take. It's not going to take much. It's about somebody having the willpower to take some decisive decision and be assertive and stand by it. The heaven will not fall. The government has so much power. The president has so much power to do whatever he wants to do. So when the government is not a record science, I want to tell you something. We are talking about the scheme. Remember, when Fayose was about to do election in Ekiti, he went about saying he wanted to recruit 2,000 youths. Why do you want to recruit 2,000 youths when you come close to election? Why don't you recruit them since you are governor? Just recently, Professor Ben Ayade, the governor of Cross River, was given a universal basic education to recruit 2,500 workers. Why now? Why didn't you recruit it since you came into office? Are you telling me that the deficit of workforce in the state in terms of teaching just started this week? It is not. This is the same governor that was crying over a budget that is 1 trillion or this and that. Nobody is asking questions whether in Cross River the budget is being implemented. And it makes front page. It was using hanky to wipe his face. That he signed a budget of 1. All this thing is just, immediately we have short memory, Nigerians. Immediately one thing come, another one come, they will throw that one away and ambush us with another one. So, and they know that we are majority of us are gullible. These leaders know. Because they are living in this society. Majority of us are very, very gullible. And they know because we are gullible, we easily forget. They will throw it away and we continue to follow it. So it is time. It's not about religion. It's not about tribe. Nigeria can work. I don't have any other country. I'm very optimistic this country can work. What it needs to take, especially the youths. If you go to social media, have you seen how many youths from the north on Facebook? Even when they are stark illiterate, most of them don't have access to social media. But go and look at it. I want to give an example. The kind of thing we do in this country. Somebody wake up and said, Bianco Juku's wife cannot go to Senate because it's from Ngo. Can you imagine? Ngo is just, Enugu State is a sister state to Anambra. And somebody will be bold enough to be writing such a thing. And some people are reacting to this and supporting it. When Amina Mohammed wanted to be minister, they say it's from Gombe and he's married to Kaduna, or from Kaduna married to Gombe. Is it necessary? The woman is in UN today. The UN asks us whether the woman is from Gombe or married to Kaduna. The UN saw that is her potential and just pick her.
Capable.
So what are we talking about? The youths are busy on the social media ranting. without coming out to say we want to rescue this country, irrespective of whether you're from the north or you're from the south or from the east, or you're a Christian or a Muslim. These politicians you see, these leaders, when they talk in the morning and they tell you that the north are very stupid, and okay, look at 2019. Head or tail, we are going to the north. Probably an Hausa Fulani. Not far from me.
Is this
not
a prediction?
Yes. Head or tail, we are going to the north.
Okay.
I start to be challenged.
Okay.
Mr. Either PDP wins or APC wins. And you look at the presidential aspirants in PDP, they are all Hausa Fulanis. Buhari is the same Hausa Fulani. So, what are we ranting for? Can't we bring, even if we want to go to the north, we look for a younger person who has credibility, who has idea. But if I was looking at social media, some girls wearing Buharis. If you don't love Buhari, you should love me. They are young girls, potential young girls that were being already recruited. They have started work. These are you, so who will be on social media ranting? What did it mean? Bread and butter.
Okay. Wow. This is intense. Let's look at more feedbacks.
Yeah.
Olatunde resent that message I couldn't read earlier and says, please, it's laudable. You go to Access Bank with your BVN to collect. People are collecting it, please. It's from Abacha's loot.
They are sharing Abacha's loot. Those who are collecting, I've asked who they are. What makes them petty traders?
All right, Dele from Okoko is asking, what is the procedure to get it to I need it? Dele.
Dele, we don't know the procedure.
Me too, I don't know.
They just
you have to be a petty trader.
What qualifies a petty trader? Is this ID card or association?
You have to be a petty trader.
Association registered in Nigeria that are members of petty traders.
Who is a petty trader, by the way? How much does your business have to be worth for you to be, to be regarded as a petty trader?
How do they come at the criteria for being a petty trader? They will tell us how they arrive at that. And who are these petty traders? Where are their shops and what are they selling? It will help us.
Okay, this other one says this is buying of votes. What's trader money? Who has done it before? Our votes are not for sale.
It's for sale.
All right, I think the federal government needs to clarify a lot of things and put out more information out there so that people are clearer, you know, on what the
dynamics.
There's one
that Jonathan did that time. They called youth empowerment. They call youth empowerment.
You win.
You win. Go and look at those who benefited from you win. Just look at
All right, our time is fast running. Let's go to our last topic for the day. The raid of Edwin Clark's house. Last week, officers of the Nigeria Police Force raided the home of politician Chief Edwin Clark in search of arms and ammunition. The action was based on false information received from an informant, in quote, who claims he was acting on a tip-off by another citizen and only had the interest of Nigeria in mind when he made the report to the police. Based on this report, some policemen swung into action and of course they went in search of the arms and ammunition allegedly stashed away in the Abuja home of Chief Clark. Almost immediately, the Inspector General of Police distanced the Nigeria Police Force from the unauthorized action of his men, and delegation was dispatched to apologize to Chief Clark. As we speak, we hear that 2 officers has been sacked. 3 officers out of the 4 have been sacked. The 4th one, yes, is on suspension and being investigated to know his actual role in the whole thing. And of course, some senior police officers have been sent to go and apologize to the senior citizen. Anyways, Mr. Edwin Clark said he has accepted the police's apology, but insisted nonetheless that the operation was sanctioned at the high levels of police command chain. Wow. You know, okay. All right, let's talk about this raid first of all, before we look at, you know, where the powers of the police actually begin, vis-a-vis, you know, if we put into context the statement by our president, you know, about the rule of law and individual rights. Let's talk.
It is not about where the present leadership of the police, with due respect to them, they have embarrassed this government enough. They have embarrassed this present government enough. And I don't know who is beating drum for them in the villa. This is not the first time. You remember the president said that he told the IG of police to go to Benue. that he did not know that the man did not come to Benue. And his IG of police is still there. So when Adams Oshiomhole became the party national chairman of APC, he made a comment when he was having issue with the Minister of Labour and Productivity,
Chris Ngige,
who refused to constitute a board. And he said, look, I don't know how somebody cannot constitute a board, whereas the person was appointed the same way the government appointed, because you know that this board was delayed for a very long time. What government do with the board is to use it to take care of their loyalists.
Yes.
That's by the way. So somebody has continued to hold, and they are now running the board without board members, which gives the minister an advantage to do one or two things. I believe, and I pray that our president will have such courage and audacity to ask questions and react the way Adams Oshiomhole reacted to these issues. Because these leaders at all these levels are creating too much problem for the president. Especially some of these ministers and government appointees. They act as if they are demigods. I'm telling you, knowing actually that nothing will happen. They will have a way of circumventing the situation. On the issue of raid of the clerk and when you look at law, I'm not a lawyer, but I have a little knowledge of what law says. If you look at Criminal Justice Act of the last Criminal Justice Act signed by Jonathan, this issue came when the homes of the judges and justices were raided by the security men. Yeah. There were questions of whether the police or the security have power to go and do that. By the Criminal Justice Act, I can't remember the section offhand, but there was a section that says that the security has right, if he has any information or feeling that there's something wrong with you, he has right, even on Sunday, to break your door or your window to barge into your house and search. It is there in the law. That's why if you look at most of the justices, they didn't go to challenge the version of their house. They are just saying about that nothing was found on them and they are not the owner of what they were found on them. So, and I ask, if security did not barge into the homes of big men who has been in the system, the corridors of power, doing one thing or the other wrong, are they going to barge into my home and your home that has no access? Is it when they barge in their home that it will not make news? I'm not justifying what the police did though. Is it when they get into your own home or my home that nobody will hear it? It will not make headline because I'm not important. You is not important. I'm not occupying an important position in Nigeria. So is it when it's going to make news? It's not. It will not. It makes news because it was the clerk's house. Police has been invading so many homes of average Nigerians here and there. And nobody has questioned the action. Because police will even tell you that it is lawful. So why the change of turn this around and say, oh, you want to go and apologize to you? If there's an informant that gives them information, I think the punishment should go to the informant who gave wrong information.
Wrong information. And
the alarm being raised that a bird is home, I'm asking you, would they come to my home? They will not come to my home. But the issue is that you don't have a police that has done so many things wrong, and there has been backlashes of what the action that we taken, and some statement from the IG of police has not helped matters. So there are this already built apprehension about the Nigeria police and what they stand to do for this government. So even if when their moves is okay,
within the law,
we will start to do them. And again, the IG of police is not enough to dismiss or use those police officers as sacrificial lamb. You remember there is allegation that even the Daura action, it has not been confirmed officially that the man said it was discussed at so it's always like that when something happens, they can use this as sacrificial lamb. But Nigerians and the journalists should not wait there. We need to try to reach out to the police officers being dismissed to state their own side of the story. Their own side of the story needs to be made public. That is my own position.
Because they didn't go there.
They didn't go on their own. Even if somebody gave them information, somebody must have been somebody them for them to go and take that action. So that is the issue. So we need to know who did that. And if this person did, there should be a report from the person justifying giving such order. The person may not be fired because he gave the order. But the issue is that we want to know who and who is involved. And it's not enough for Clark to say, I accept the apology and the order came from the highest authority. And then, if order came from highest authority, and if they have found anything incriminating his house, is he going to tell me that he's not going to go in for it? So I don't think heaven will fall in this situation. But the issue is that things must be done the right way.
Yes.
So that is my own position.
Okay, all right. That's as much as we can take. But before we go, let's look at a few more feedbacks. Akono Barnabas from Abuja says, sir, you hit the point. Timing. One more point is, what happened to N-Power? This administration seemed to be confused. Sorry to say this. It's like someone else is ruling us. Okunawa Shakiro says, I want your guests to understand that what is applying in this country now is all the problems Jonathan left behind.
It's not about Jonathan. You cannot enter the kitchen and say that there is heat. Jonathan is no longer there. What you should do is to start finding solutions to those problems. Government is a continuum. So the excuse of Jonathan,
you don't campaign to be a king.
I know
and
Jonathan had the past administration had a lot of lapse problems they created here and there. But if you are approaching it sincerely and practically, you can solve those problems. Not by compounding it and continue to do what they call bug passing and blaming somebody and telling that, oh, this person caused it. No, you cannot be in the kitchen and say there is heat because you know that actually there must be heat in the kitchen. So you must have prepared your mind on how to take care of the heat.
All right, that's as much as we can take. It's been a very intense discussion with you, Mr. Samson Ezia. Thank you indeed for coming on the show today.
It's a pleasure.
All right, he's a political correspondent with the Guardian newspapers, and that's it on the program. Thank you, viewers, for being a part of the show. We'll be back tomorrow at noon with another edition of the program. Have yourself a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.